Hey, and welcome back to Yogi's Garage. I know I have two cars, and I seem to be only talking about one over there, but that one's the one that has most of the problems. But we're finally back with Project CK, my 2005 Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet. Yes, another cabriolet. I just absolutely love this body style. It looks and sounds awesome when you're in the car, and that's why I have another one. So what I'm going to be doing for you guys in this video is going over the car in a much more in-depth approach. What I want to do is address some of the low-hanging fruit, if you will, on this car where there are some issues like the headlights, for example, the sound system, the suspension, the interior, and the list keeps going. But the engine's rock solid, the interior is fantastic. There are a few things that need to be taken care of. So in this video series, I'm going to be going over not only all of the upgrades, and if you haven't seen that video, be sure to click that pop-up above so that you can get caught up, where I went over all of the modifications in this car. Because I don't know if you can tell, this car is very low compared to Pepper over here. Well, that's because this entire suspension has been replaced with GT2 parts. Yes, that's right. GT2 suspension, GT2 sway bar, linkage, all of it. And as well as Olin coilovers. The list goes on and on. So over this series, I'm going to go over that, show you the problems, and how to fix them. And there are a few problems in this car. One of them is it's a topic that was discussed early on a lot, and then it kind of died down, and now the topic's coming back. And that is a problem with the blend doors on these Porsches. The blend door is what blends hot and cold air during winter to give you a nice comfortable temperature in the cabin. Well, the blend doors were wrapped in foam and they've oxidized over the years, and there's pretty much no foam left, just a metal panel with big holes in it. So we're gonna fix that, not in this video, but we're gonna fix that in a future video. And we're also gonna adjust the suspension to make it more road friendly instead of a canyon carver like it is now. So with that, let's get started. I wanna show you around the car, introduce you to the interior, the sound system, the leather, we gotta look at that. Let's fix it.
Shifting between the Carrera and the Turbo S is a totally different experience. This thing's got a stage 3 sax or a stage 2 sax clutch, one of the two. I'll put the description right here below so that you can see what it is. But he also deleted the slave cylinder, which gives you that extra boost to help you push the clutch in. So we're just gonna take this around the block here, get it warmed up, and then take it from there. Way louder. People will hear you coming in this car, I promise. So people keep asking me why I keep buying cabriolets. And there's a good reason for that. I love the way that they feel and sound when you're driving. Just about warmed up. I'll bring you back when I'm ready. Okay, I'm almost out of GoPro juice, so I apologize, but I'm gonna log it, so you'll get the numbers. Okay, here we go. Woo! Holy Headlight. 4.69. Here we are.
All right, the second order of business on this car, since I've already taken care of the headlights and its ugly raccoon eyes, I took care of that. The problem is the headlights don't turn on. Check it out. So even with the key in and turning this thing, the ignition key is probably going to be another one that's going to need to be addressed because it's getting difficult to turn the key. Okay, now that the key is turned, you should be able to see the headlights turn on. But the only things that turn on are the parking lights and the side markers. So I went on a limb and I'm like, this is probably a similar problem that Pepper had with her headlights, and this switch here had to be replaced. So that's what I'm gonna do here. So I've done this process before on Pepper, so if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out. But it's pretty straightforward. You gotta take the vent off, and you gotta take the cap off of the switch and all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna show you real quick what it's gonna take, and then I'm gonna knock it out. So first things first is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this dial. You pull this out as you saw, and there's a hole underneath, and you use a mechanic's pick to release the lock there, and it'll pop right out. It's gonna take two hands, so give me a sec. So now that the dial is out, there's a little spring-loaded latch right here that holds it in place. So I took that off. And you'll notice there's a nut that also needs to come out, and then there is a screw that's all the way in there that you'll need to do. And it's I believe it's a T25. Let's take a look. And then there are the Phillips heads right here you take out to pull this out. It's a T20, by the way, not a T25. Out. That is a 24 millimeter. And you may need to get yourself a long Torx like this to get in there. Mine did not reach for some reason. It reached on Pepper, but it didn't reach on this one. So you may run into the same problem. All right, and then you just pull it out. I'm gonna pull the whole thing out together. And then you can disconnect it from underneath. And then I'll show you how to take it out of this bezel here. You can also see that the foam is breaking down a little bit here too. So be aware of that, don't be freaking out. But you wanna disconnect this flat ribbon cable, and then this is a big old round plug you just pull straight out. Yeah, there's a lot of foam in here, and I suspect that some of that foam is coming from the dreaded foam issue, because I can see some bits of foam right there in the vents. So it looks like I'll be taking care of that at some point. And then this ignition switch maybe need to be replaced as well, because it's really hard to turn the key, and it shouldn't be like that. All right, so now I took care of that. I'm gonna go ahead and just take it off from here, and it should just be one counterclockwise turns. Let's see if I can do that. And I'm trying to be extra careful with this interior. One little turn should do it. Like that. And it should just pull straight out, just like that. So I'm not seeing or hearing anything wrong with this one. On my Pepper one, man, it sounded like this was a Maraca or something. It was all broken on the inside. So I'm concerned because this may not actually fix the problem. So let's see. But that's the new one right there. All right, it's all back in place. Like I said, it wasn't a big deal. 24 mil socket, just get it, you know, snug. You don't want to break it. All right, because mine was broken on the Carrera. So that's it. And then I put a couple more screws back in place. Then I'm gonna test the light first. All right, let's go ahead and test it out. Hey, there you go. Easy fix. Now, what'd that take me? About 10 minutes to do, maybe 20? We're back in business. Easy fix. All right, I'm back in CK here, and I'm going through all of the upgrades and mods that were done in this car, and there are quite a few. Clearly, there's entertainment mods that were done. There appears to have been, at some point, an Escort. This looks like this might have to come out because I don't think I'll ever put another radar detector on here. Here is the port, I'm assuming, for that, which is somewhere here. There's a cable right here for that. Microphone for the Kenwood. But what I really wanted to show you, that's a level control, by the way, for the subwoofer, which is a Focal custom fitted box. I mean, that's crazy. I can't wait to go through the sound system. But what I want to show you is this. And this, for those of you who don't know, is a Cobb access port. And this car is equipped with a Cobb tune, and it allows me to look at all the information on the car. I mean, I looked this up alone, and this unit right here is $800, not counting the tune, right? So what tune does it have? Let's take a look. Show current map. And it's showing a Borum Motorsports Stage 3 mapping. No idea what that is. But this thing does more than that, right? So I can change my mappings whenever I want. And I'm assuming that there will be options in here. Yeah, here they are. So I'm using the Borum Motorsports Stage 3 Levy. And there's Stage 0, Stage 1. I mean, there's a bunch in here. And I don't even know what any of this does. I've never heard of a Cobb, but apparently they're the leaders in this type of arena where it comes to tuning maps and abilities to tune yourself. It's crazy. But yeah, so that is a nice little add to this car. And you've heard how it sounds. You've seen some of its performance. Now you understand why. And I understand too. All right, second or third order of business with CK here is to address the sound system. I'm only getting sound from the front, and it's handicapped. And I'm also getting sound from the sub, but that's it. 0.0 sound from any of the rear speakers. So that doesn't, I'm kind of an audio guy, but I'm not much of one. So that doesn't sound like a blown speaker to me. It sounds like maybe a failed amp or something. So I'm gonna need to run through some tests, but I'm gonna show you what I see, and then maybe you guys can help me figure it out. Getting in the car is still, it's being this low, it's really more challenging to get in the car. All right, let's see what it sounds like. And since I'm not getting any sound, I turned everything off. And this is a DNX 891 HD. Does not support CarPlay. It looks like 2014 was when this was probably put in, maybe 2015. So I'll probably be pulling this out and putting something else in its place. So when I try to put it all the way to the back, nothing. No sound. But you do hear that speaker up front. All right, so let's figure out what's going on.
All right, I'm going to give you some beauty shots of the sound system. I think it's a very expensive sound system. I believe it's a problem with the amplifier, but I am not 100% convinced. I still believe that there might be a problem with the instrument cluster, as that seems to be an issue with the 911 turbos of this generation. I'm also detecting a low voltage situation in the frunk area in general. So I think with that and the potential cluster issue, I need to investigate further.
Despite its appearance, CK is still 18 years old and it has 69,000 miles on the clock. So there will be wear spots, and one in particular will be the bolster on the driver's side. For obvious reasons, when you get in and out of the car, you're wearing out that spot more than any other part of that seat. So I'm gonna fix this and show you how I did it, but first, I need to show you what tools I'll be using. After the disastrous results of using the Clyde's Leather Balm, I decided to switch gears and use something from Leather World Tech, and the results were amazing.
Okay, we're gonna start with the Color Prep Cleaner. It says to use this with this scuff pad, and it says it's supposed to take off any grime, body oils, any type of dirt or whatever off of the leather before you apply the colorant. And unlike the previous attempt where I tried to do it with Clyde's, I'm gonna do this in an inconspicuous area just to make sure that this dye is the appropriate Boxster red. They did say color 943 is a Boxster red color, but still, I'm gonna test it somewhere probably on the back of the seat to see what it looks like. Let's do that first. And I think I'm just gonna use what's on this cover here. That's all I really need. I'm just gonna soak it up and take it over to the car and put it on the back. I mean, it looks like it matches really well. Yeah, look at that. Looks really good. All right, let's just put it down here in the bottom so no one can see. Yeah, look at that. Wow. All right, we'll let that dry for a moment and see how close that gets to Boxster Red. But I can tell you already it's starting to dry, and it's blending in really well. Okay, so this color's gonna work. I need to get all of these cracks filled before I continue, and I'm gonna do this bolster first and fill it in with some filler before I color it. So let's do it. Now let's look again. There's the color that I just applied. All right, and I said once it dries, you wipe it off, and it blends right in. All right, looks good. Okay, next up is to put some Color Prep Cleaner on the area that I'm gonna start with and use the scuffing pad. So again, this thing is supposed to take off all of the excess oil and dirt and whatever. And yeah, so we're gonna get going on this. I'll set you up, let's do it. All right, again, I'm using my Xbox. I'm using my Insta360 Go 3 camera. It's the latest version that just came out, and I love it because I get to use both of my hands to demonstrate things instead of having to put the camera down. All right, yeah, see, when I spray that in there, man, you can really see the darkening of those creases. So they said the scuff pad is meant to smooth out any of the, you can see some of the red coming off too, any of the raised surfaces, and to even everything out, right? Now, I don't think I'm gonna spackle everything here. I'm just gonna get some of the deep cracks right in this area and see what that does before I go, you know, hog wild on the entire car, because I don't think that's really all that necessary. This always makes me nervous when I do this like that, you know, but hey, luckily I have a color match. Okay, this feels good. I'm gonna go into the grooves a little bit, so into the grain of the leather. Certainly an alcohol-based formula. All right, a little bit of microfiber action here. Finish filler, and according to this, it says finish filler is designed to smooth out surface scratches or spiderweb cracking, also compatible with vinyl. All right, so that's what this is here, right? It's a spiderweb cracking. It's not, it didn't crack to the foam, it didn't crack all the way through, but all of this is spiderweb cracking. So I'm gonna try it right here and just smooth that over with this little knife, and hope I don't mess anything up. Right. Okay, so it's like it's got the consistency of latex paint, maybe, or Elmer's glue. Yeah. Okay. I see what they want me to do here. Makes sense. Just if you run it over, you can see in the darker area, or I should say the whiter areas, is where it's filling the cracks. All right. It also said that I can use a blow dryer to speed up the curing process. I may do that. Not sure yet. All right, let's do a little bit more. Yeah, see, that's nice. It's like icing a cake with really loose icing. But it looks cool. Man, this heat outside is just wreaking havoc on these older cars, and any of the UV or paint protection films are really struggling and peeling and cracking. The headlights on this car need a lot of love, so that'll be coming up. And the instructions say that I can use a blow dryer or a heat shrink gun to speed the curing process along, so that's what I'm going to do. Keep it on low. And it should turn into like a milky white substance. Really lightly, like a light coating of icing. Get those cracks filled. All right, we're gonna leave it like that. Learning as I go, folks. So this chair just comes apart right here. Some kind of front control module. Some kind of module here. Looks like it connects right here. There. Okay. Okay, right there. If I put it on there, it's got to go on like this. Like this. All right. Let's put the brake on so it doesn't go anywhere. Wham bam. All right, let's do this. Old man power. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's get this out of here. Now, let's take a look at that inside now. Compare it to... Yeah, so this module was connected underneath. As you can see that. So that needed to be disconnected along with this. This is actually to the immobilizer. And that's what this is here. Okay, well now I gotta have to remember how to do all that. All right, as you saw, I took this seat out of the car because I wanted to protect the interior, because I plan on doing a special type of application on this stain instead of just using a brush. From what they say in the instructions, using a brush may leave, or a sponge may leave texture marks on this thing, and I want to avoid doing that. So I've got it out. The filler looks really good. There's a few spots that I need to redo just to go a little bit deeper, like here, for example, and some of the deeper creases, I think I want to fill them in just a little bit more to make it look more like this, you know, smooth. And then if this works out, I'll come back to this side and fill these in as well. This looks like it's going to work out real well. I'm going to come back with that Scotch-Brite pad and level out this surface here just so that it's more smooth.
And then once I do that, I'll clean up the dust and then apply another layer of that filler. All right, let's do it. And I'm going to be using this hobby grade airbrush with this hobby grade compressor I've had for quite a long time. When my daughter was born, I thought I was going to get into dollhouse construction, and I was getting all into it and buying all these kinds of tools, and this was one of them, and I never really used it but once. So now I'm ready to use it. It's going to work out great. I've already tested it out. So I'm going to clean all that up like I said, and then we're going to check out this and see how to get it going. Let's do it. All right, I got my Insta360 Go 3 on my hat again. Hopefully it looks okay. Let me look. It's a bit of a delay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I love this thing. You can see what I'm seeing up here on this little display. It's a slight little lag, but it works really well. And so cool. All right, let me start sanding this. I'm not playing around. So I think I'm just gonna smooth this out. Over spillage. Luckily, it doesn't stick all that great if it still has a protective layer of conditioner or whatever on it, so that's good. So I think I just want to run a light coat. Just want to wipe it down without affecting the filler. Yeah, that looks good. It's pretty darn easy to use, you know? See, that's why I want that little Milky Way crease and nothing more, really, you know? It's much easier to do this stand up outside of cars. If you have that option, I'll probably do that. So it should turn into a color like that once it's completely dry. And you can actually see it doing it. That's pretty cool. So the recommendations from Leather World Technologies is to use 0.8 millimeter needle and nozzle for this. So that'll be a quick little change out. I gotta change it out from here and change out the tip as well. But it's pretty easy to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out right now. Let's do it. What I want to do here is just add a little bit of water to thin it out. I'm not sure exactly how much, so we'll just figure it out together. You're basically getting it just thin enough to go through the nozzle. At least that's how I see it. Okay, it's my first pass. I think it's very light. Well, let's see. You hear that? It's very inconsistent with the spray. Let me see if I can fix that. Coming out way better now. I'll tell you one thing, the color match is really good. See these raised areas right there? I think I'm gonna have to deal with that. Maybe not. It's good.
Man, I'd say that's really, really good. Not bad at all. Wow.
I decided that once you make a clean spot, you got to keep on going.
And I actually have a little mixer that I bought when I went airbrush crazy a few years ago when I was going to make a dollhouse for my daughter. And I don't know where it's at because I would use it right here. It would be awesome. I love tools.
Seat here. All right. Okay. And hopefully what this camera will pick up is how well it's filling in these cracks. Using an airbrush will most definitely conserve your dye. You're not overusing it. So that's another selling point. You know what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below in my affiliate section for this Master airbrush. I think there's a newer model. This one's about 6 years old. So I'll recommend it. It's really good. It's made by Master. And they even sell kits that it includes the little compressor as well. So if you're interested, take a look at it. All right.
Check out that bolster.
Hell yeah.
I even did this strip right here because it looked like it has a patch job right there, like a cigarette burn or something. But you can see the difference in color.
Yeah.
So this is untreated,
Right.
and that's treated. Can't have that. Ooh, that's slippery. There. Okay. There. Perfect. Now I can get under there and reconnect everything. All right, let's do it. All right, I'm using my GoPro 360 again. GoPro Insta360. I've got this panel all connected back together, zip tied. That's my blue zip tie. This is some kind of control module for all of the comfort features. The Carrera, as I mentioned earlier, does not have that because it does not have memory seating or lumbar. So I'm guessing that's what that is. But it's all buttoned up, reconnected, ready to go. and tested. Seats moving, good. Yeah, I just realized that I got some staining here on the plastic. No big deal. And I say staining, that's dye. I think I can get that off, no problem. I mean, I know I can, so we'll take care of that in a little bit. But yeah, the seat's back in, and man, does it look good. It almost makes me feel like I need to do the other one, but I'm not gonna, because I want to finish this video. All right. All right, I think I'm gonna end the video right there. I got the seat back in. It looks fantastic. You saw the video. The headlight switch is working, and now I gotta figure out what's wrong with the car stereo. But now that everything's back together in here, I get to take this car out for a spin. It's been really hot here, like in the rest of the United States. We're talking temperatures around 98 to over 100 degrees for like the last 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. So I haven't really been all that motivated to go outside in this car because the heat is destroying the PPF clear protection film on the headlights. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in my next video, as well as getting the air conditioner working in Pepper. I'm gonna take care of that in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed it. This car is awesome. And oh, also, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but my subscriber count has really shot up in the last week or so. So thank you guys for remembering to subscribe to my channel. It's really happening. The channel's finally taking off. I'm really excited. I got a lot of new content coming, and we'll see you next time on Yogi's Garage.